Okay, those of you that may have missed the premiere on Sunday at 1 o'clock Central Standard Time may be still wondering, okay, I know that Scott went into Walmart to kind of film and capture at least part of their inventory of sewing machines that they have, because he wanted to pick a victim to go up against his brother, model 1241 out of his personal collection. Did he get kicked out? Did he get arrested? Well, if you didn't make it and you're hearing my voice, you probably know I didn't, or at least I got out on bail. But here's the video that I shot at Walmart if you happen to miss it on the premiere on Sunday, and hopefully it streams okay on here and you can at least get a glimpse of it. Otherwise, you can always go back and watch the actual premiere that I posted, okay? All right, here we go. All right, and that's where the police came in. I'm just kidding. No, I was able to get in and out of Walmart without any major issues. I did talk to the manager of that department who, when I explained I was looking to basically make a decision on getting a machine to put up against one of my vintage ones, she says, I don't know a thing about sewing machines. So I was kind of on my own anyway. But as you probably gathered from the different shots I did and the amount of time I spent on certain boxes, I did end up picking Singer's latest heavy-duty model, the Model 44S, which they're touting as an all-metal machine, or at least all-metal frame, and saying it's 50% more powerful than two of the brother models that are currently out there in the marketplace. As a matter of fact, you caught a glimpse of them at Walmart on the same shelving areas as this Singer Model 44S. And those models that Singer is going after in particular, I'll actually grab my box, see if I can set it over here and we'll zoom in on it. They're going after two models that belong to brother and trying to tout the fact that their machine, this 44S, is substantially more powerful than the LX, what is that, LX 3817 or the GX 37. And so they really are, from the last time that I did a premiere, which has been many months ago, on one of Singer's contemporary machines, which, and again, I don't want to take credit for this, but less than a month after I released that video pitting their supposed heavy-duty machine up against one of my Singer 66 red-eye hand cranks, they pulled that machine off the shelves from all of their stores across the United States, and they're offering them now, that same model, and I don't even remember what it was, a 4401, 44 something or other. Look it up on my channel. I did that comparison, basically a head-to-head with my Singer Red-Eye 66 up against that Singer contemporary model. They pulled it off all the shelves, off of all their stores, and now they're trying to get rid of them. They've been trying to get rid of them for almost a year now, I think it is, on their Walmart.com. And they've also, because they're having a lot of trouble selling the machines that are in their stores, they're now opening it up to third parties. And if you go to Walmart.com and look it up, you got about 15 pages of machines, all the way up to light industrial machines by Juki, by Janome, you name it. They're letting everybody come on the Walmart.com now at a price, obviously, to try to sell machines that they don't carry in their store. But I finally settled on this one for a couple of reasons. One is it's made in Vietnam. And the brother machine that I have on the other workbench is made in Taiwan. And I thought, okay, I'm not making it an apple against an orange. I'm taking two machines from different eras that were made in third world countries, and I'm going to put them head to head. And I also thought about changing out the needle on this Singer 44S, but I thought, no, then I'm going to get people bickering about, you somehow modified it, you changed out the needle, you changed the thread. What you see in front of you is exactly how it comes out of the box. Literally right out of the box. They don't give you a full spool of thread because doggone it, that would be too expensive. They give you really the equivalent of a bobbin spool, and then they thread it up for you with this white generic thread, no idea what kind it is, and then they throw one of their needles in, which looks like a pretty heavy duty needle. I would say probably about a size 90 to 100, might even be 110. It's a big needle. And so I left it exactly as I took it out of the box. And like I did with that other Premiere many months ago, I wanted to show you the foot controller, which is an electronic one, and it weighs about as much as a paper clip. It's all plastic. It's cheaply made. It just is. And it's rated for 0.95 amps, which there's nothing on the box, there's nothing on the machine that tells you what the motor size is on this Singer 44S, but based on the foot controller, I am going to estimate that the motor size on this Vietnam-made Singer model 44S is somewhere between a 0.8 to a 0.95 amp motor. And my brother vintage machine, which is a model 1241, has only a 0.7 amp motor compared to this contemporary model right here, which has at least a 0.8 to a 0.95 amp motor. Again, this is Vietnam made versus mine, which is Taiwan made. Take a quick drink of water here. So the first thing I'm already talking about the foot controller. It's pathetically poorly made. I mean, if you pick it up and you put it on a scale next to a paper clip, I don't know. I think that the paper clip would maybe win. It might. And as I did in that other Premiere, they're really touting the fact, and I'll grab that box again. They're really touting the fact that, you know what, nothing's changed, folks. Nothing's changed. This is an all metal frame machine. That's their naked version of their machine, and they're showing what looks like a lot of metal on it. And then they're going right up here and they're saying full metal frame, maximum durability, and they even write it in Spanish just to emphasize their point. And they talk about enhanced piercing power, extra high sewing speed, extra high presser foot lift, drop feet adjustment, 23 stitches, blah, blah, blah. But the big meal deal that made me pick it is they're trying to compare it, obviously they're trying to compare it to our vintage machines by saying nothing's changed here, folks. All metal. It's all metal. Well, gosh, I wish that were true. I wish that were true. I wish that were true. I just do. Because you know what? I've got I'm going to move this box again. I've got some super powerful magnets that I use in my day-to-day work in the workshop. And I searched, as I did in that other Premiere with that other 4000 series Singer, that again, after we released our video to the world, it was less than a month later that Walmart pulled that particular machine, the 4000 series, from all of their stores across America and started offering it at a discount on Walmart.com and other venues as well. So here's one of the magnets that I use in the workshop regularly. It's telescoping. I love this thing to death. I mean, it has a lot of pull when it comes to lifting things. It's got a lot of strength. I mean, I could show you an example with my scissors. I could show you an example of other metal things that I might be able to find around here. I don't know what I can find readily. Oh yeah, I do. My vintage stapler. I mean, if it detects metal, doggone it, it's gonna latch on and it's not gonna let go. Well, I just knocked something off. I'm trying to pick it up real quick off camera. Don't you love live premieres? Oh my gosh, they're so embarrassing. Okay. So I thought, okay, they showed us that frame where the whole machine, this is an all metal frame. This is solid metal, for goodness sakes. So I thought, this super strong magnet that I use in the workshop, it's got to pick something up here. Okay, let me try there. Whoops. Nothing. Let me try. Nothing there. How about there? Can we get a little something? How about nothing? Nothing. Nothing. Okay, we got a fighting chance here. Here's our bobbin winder. Yes! 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 Yeah, baby! We found metal. It's on top of the machine and it's the bobbin winder, but we ain't finding it nowhere else. Now here's part of our thread guide. Yes! We found metal again. Our take-up arm. Come on, hang on. Hang on for all you're worth, my friend. Oh, jeez. Come on. We got to find metal. Metal somewhere. Is there metal anywhere? It's an all-metal frame. How is this even possible? Oh. So, Singer's claim to fame that this is an all-metal frame, and I've already shown that my magnet is legit. It's not finding metal anywhere that I just touched it on this machine, other than the bobbin winder, the thread guide up here that you use for winding a bobbin, and then the take-up arm. That's it. Maybe if we get onto the presser foot bar, or the presser foot attachment itself, or the needle plate, we might also get a reaction from the magnet. Or maybe this thin layer of tin material they stuck on top of here, maybe it would detect that. But what they were touting in their box display that I showed you is it's an all metal frame. I mean, isn't that what they showed us? I'm bringing the box over again just to make sure I'm not losing my mind. There's the box. Okay, let's start up here. Full metal frame. All right, we're going to even give you a visual. Where's the visual? There it is. Now, all those areas that you saw me touch this machine, and the magnet detected nothing. So I don't know what. I don't want to say that they're committing fraud. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's pig metal. Maybe it's. I don't know. I don't know what kind of metal it is, but I got a really good magnet here, and my magnet is just saying, there's no metal. We're not finding any metal. No metal detected. No metal detected. No metal detected. Whereas we could go over to the machine that's going to go up against this contemporary Singer 44S. We can go over to my brother machine from my personal collection. And let's see if we can find any metal on this machine. Again, this one was made in Taiwan. The other one was made in Vietnam. Oh yeah. All metal. All metal. All metal. All metal. All metal. Balancing, balancing. All right, let's do it like that. All metal. All metal. So time makes a difference, doesn't it? You've got two machines that were made in what I would refer to, and I mean no offense by this, we're made in third world countries. One, the one you're looking at right now, which is my model 1241 Brother. And again, I picked this Brother in particular from my personal collection because Singer is on the attack in today's market against Brother sewing machines. They do it on their boxes, they do it in their advertising. They are trying to beat up Brother left and right and say, don't buy a Brother machine, it's crap. Buy one of our Singer machines. And so that's why I picked this Brother model 1241. I wanted to put a Brother machine made in Taiwan back in the day against a contemporary Singer model 44S made in Vietnam in our contemporary times, and put them neck to neck, head to head, doing exactly the same sew-offs. And I don't know what the outcome is going to be. I haven't done any sewing on this Singer 44S, and I haven't sewn on this Brother machine, this 1241, for years since I bought it from the original owner. So I have no idea what's going to happen. And you know what? Other than really, I think all of us agree that vintage far surpasses a Singer heavy-duty model like this one over here. I have no idea what's going to happen. And really, when it comes to comparing a machine like this and this, is longevity. This Brother model 1241 of mine is going to last, as long as it's, you know, basic maintenance and it's not abused, it's going to last basically forever. Even though it was made in Taiwan, it is a rock solid machine, made incredibly well. If I took the top off and I showed you all the innards, you'd be like, oh my gosh. They didn't spare anything in engineering this machine. And then you have a machine like this that supposedly is an all-metal frame machine with a presser foot, a foot controller rather, a foot controller that weighs about as much as a paper clip. And how long do you think this machine is going to last? You know, kudos to Brother, because Brother is touting a warranty of 25 years on their machines, and I'll bet you Singer hates it. And Singer could even put a warranty on this machine. I asked them when I bought it, I said, well, how long do I have to return this thing? They said, you better return it in 90 days or less with your receipt, or we ain't taking it back. That's literally what they told me. Because I could see on the shelf that a couple other boxes looked like they had already been opened, Singer boxes, from people that had gotten the machine, were probably disappointed. And yes, I'm speculating, boxed it back up and brought it back to Walmart. But at any rate, enough ranting, right? Enough ranting. We're here to see a match, or at least a head-to-head competition with this Singer 44S, which has between a 0.8 to a 0.95 amp motor and is all metal frame. And you know, just super duper heavy duty. And my Brother model 1241 with a 0.7 amp motor made in Taiwan. Okay. All right. I may not even play music with this because I didn't know what kind of music I would choose, really, to be honest with you. But let's go to the Singer first. And again, I've not used this machine, so I don't know what's going to happen. We will start with, I think I'm starting with elk hide. Genuine elk hide, if I'm not mistaken. I might be mistaken. And I'm going to see, well, we're starting to zoom in on this machine. I'm going to see if I can find some music that I could possibly throw on. Because I don't want to do absolute silence as we're going from workbench to workbench. I mean, that is a great way to put people to sleep, probably. Bear with me here, folks. Come on, you silly thing. The internet up in this part of the country is not super great. So I do get some weird wonky results sometimes when I'm trying to stream audio. I'm actually surprised that that opening video that I showed played as well as it did. That normally doesn't happen. I'm very, very fortunate that it happened. So check my streaming signal. Yeah, it's real weak. Excuse me. All right, well, this is loading, which could take a little while. I'm just going to launch into the first sew-off using, what do I have here? Using this elk hide as a starting point. And I think my, whoops. Bear with me for a second here, folks. It's got a mind of its own. It's got a mind of its own. All right, I'm going to try to play a song here. It may not work. I'll just tell you that up front. This is called My Dog is Happy. My Dog is Happy. Somehow that seems appropriate, doesn't it? I don't know. Turn my screen around here. I hope this foot controller cord is long enough because it looks like it's really short. Hoping I can get it all the way down to the ground. I'm gonna have to move the machine closer to the edge. The cord isn't long enough, which means I'll probably have to adjust my shot. As light as this foot controller is too, it's like trying to turn on the ground. Ah! All right, let's jump into this. Live premieres, they have their challenges. Honest to God, folks, I can't even get this foot controller to lay flat on the ground because it's so doggone light. It's like hanging a paper clip with a thread and trying to get it to lay down flat. Ah! Hold on a second here. Oh, gosh. All right, we're doing 2 layers of this, folks. Oh, that presser foot clearance is pathetic. I could barely fit that underneath. Some of these sew-offs I may not be able to fit, but oh, thank goodness, I do have a little bit of a... Oops, hold on a second here. I didn't take all the plastic off. I battled that thing so long that I actually ran out of music. This is ridiculous. All right, let me see if I can get that. Yeah, thank God they put a hyperextension on this at least, so I could at least fit that leather underneath there. But if you don't hyperextend it, guess what? You're not going to fit it underneath there. Okay, that was My Dog is Happy. And the next one is called Simple Gifts. Let me see if I can at least get a sew-off done with Simple Gifts. Here we go. All right, here we go. I have no idea what's going to happen, folks. No idea. All right, we made it through. Yes. Oh, that lock stitch doesn't look too hot. Okay, but we made it through, all right? I'm not going to beat it up. We made it through. So there's one of the stitches. I think that's our top stitch. Yep. And there's our lock stitch. All right, let me toss it to the side and we'll go over to the brother machine. I'm going to raise this up just a little bit because the workbenches are different heights. There we go. Okay, same sew off. 2 layers of genuine elk hide. I gotta play that again. I love that song. I went to see Lord of the Dance, and obviously that song is in Lord of the Dance. Okay, so here goes my brother, model, what did I say, 1241, doing the same sew off with 2 layers of genuine elk hide. Here we go. Judge. This is a smaller motor on this machine, for goodness sakes. Oh my gosh. I love vintage, don't you? Bum bum ba da dum bum bum. Oh my gosh, and that's a gorgeous stitch. Spacing formation is absolutely spot on. We turn it over. That's what a lock stitch is supposed to look like, folks. Absolutely beautiful. Beautiful lock stitch. All right, let's do some protected full grain leather now. We're going to jump back over to the other workbench. And you can see that the Singer, this contemporary model, comes with an LED light. You can kind of see it. Doesn't have that natural glow like the other machine, but hey, I've got a bias, okay? Duh, I know it. I know it! All right, let's do some protected full grain leather. And I think I'm planning on doing 3 layers of this. But let me jump over first of all to the next one. How did I end up with all of these cool songs? That was called Simple Gifts. You know, I just call it the Lord of the Dance because that's where I heard it. And the next one we're doing is called Muffin Man. I'm not making this up. How could I? All right. 3 layers of protected full grain leather is what we're going to do next. Fold that. Oh, I know why it's called Muffin Man now. Duh. Okay, so there's our 3 layers of protected full grain leather. I'm trying to get it folded the way I want it. There we go. All right, here we go. I think I may end up breaking this thing. I really do. I think I may end up breaking it. That did not sound good, did it? I'm okay with the stitching. The stitching looks fine. But I'll tell you one thing. For an all metal frame, it is not impressing me yet. Okay, so there's our stitch, which I think looks good. I think that's a good looking stitch. The machine didn't sound good laying it down, but it sure did a decent job. We turn it over. There's our lock stitch. which doesn't quite look as good as the top stitch. And again, this has, you can change the tension on it, but it's preset by the factory, and I'm going with the factory settings. So it made it through 3 layers of protected full grain leather. It laid down a top stitch that I think looks decent. The lock stitch, not as much so. So I'm going to throw this one to the side, and eventually we'll be able to take a look at all of these. So now I'm going to go over to the Brother machine, the Brother model 1241, and we're going to do the same sew-off. I don't think I'll do it to Muffin Man again. I don't want to make all of you go crazy. So this next one is Ode to Joy, which I played, I think, around Christmas time. All right, Ode to Joy, and we're going to do the same sew-off on the vintage Brother 1241 made in Taiwan with a 0.7 amp motor. Okay, so 3 layers of this. Go ahead and fold it once. And I should have folded the other way. But I don't want that 3 sticking out. Ah! Hold on a second here. There we go. Three layers of protected full grain leather, just like we just did on the Contemporary Singer Model 44S. Let's see how the Brother does with this. All right, here we go. I decided to raise the stakes and actually reduce that stitch size significantly on this machine, and look at what it laid down. Absolutely drop dead gorgeous spacing formation. We're probably at about 15 to 20 stitches per inch on this vintage machine, and it didn't miss a beat. Look at that. Do you know how much tougher that is to do? Oh my gosh. Well done. And that's the Brother 1241 that just laid that down on 3 layers of protected full grain leather. Absolutely cuckoo. All right. There's not much of a comparison yet, folks, in my judgment. Not much of a comparison. All right, the next sew-off we're going to do is 3 layers of genuine cowhide. I think that's what I have. 3 layers of genuine cowhide. Let's go over to the 44S and try it on there first. Not even... No. Singer, good luck bad-mouthing Brother after this video. I'll be watching for those 44S's to be taken off the shelf, just like the other model that I premiered and put against that Singer 66 Red Eye hand crank. It's not even a comparison so far, folks. Not even a comparison. All right, let's put another tune on. Let's see if I can grab a quick drink of water too. Okay, that last one was Ode to Joy. This one is Bach Cello Suite Number 1 G Major. Boy, that's a lot to say, isn't it? But let me get a drink of water before I hit play, and we'll launch into the next sew-off, which is going to be genuine cowhide. We're going to do 3 layers of it, and we'll see how this Singer 44S with its all metal frame and its 50% more power than those Brother sewing machines does against this task. And again, I don't want you to just to, as a matter of fact, you know what? On this next sew off, I won't even put any, music on. I want you to listen to how this machine sounds. Again, the big distinguisher when you're talking contemporary versus vintage is longevity. And how many times do you think you're going to be able to sew off leather at this level on this Singer heavy duty model 44S compared to how many times you'd be able to sew off heavy grade leather on this vintage Brother model 1241? That's the real deal, folks. The real deal is not a one-off like I'm trying to show in this premiere, but can we do this again and 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 again? And what's going to happen to this Singer heavy duty that has mostly plastic gears on the inside? I think you already know the answer to that. But we're going to give it a one-off opportunity to shine before someone takes this into their small business and spends that $150 to $200 on it, and then reaches out to me 6 months later after they've been beating that machine up and says, do you have a machine like that Brother model 1241 you showed in that premiere? Because I don't want a machine that's going to last me 6 months. I don't want a machine that they have such little confidence in that when I bought it in the store, they said, if you don't get it back to us in 90 days, we're not going to take the thing back. Probably because we have a back room full of them, quite honestly. All right, another drink of water. And like I said, on this sew off, we'll do it just listening to the machine. And this marking on here, you can see this green marking is again because I buy this leather from a local provider that uses it to make the seats in luxury Learjets and private jets. And these are remnants that I buy. I couldn't afford to buy leather in pristine form and use it for sew-offs again and again and again. I just wouldn't be able to afford it. So these are remnants. You'll see some of them marked up with these markings on them. So, all right. So let me give this a full. We're going to do 3 layers of this, and we'll see how this Singer heavy duty all metal framed model 44S does. And again, when it comes to clearance, I can't even fit that underneath the presser foot unless I pull that presser foot up. It's real tight, folks. They don't have super good clearance on this heavy duty model by Singer, this model 44S. It's not good. Okay, I will be quiet now. Let's zip down this and see how this 44S does on this one-off with 3 layers of genuine cowhide. Here we go. Again, I've got no critique about the stitching that it's putting down right now, but how many times can we do this before this machine breaks with those plastic gears on the inside? That's a decent looking top stitch. I've got no gripe with that at all. And as we look at it from the side, that's 3 layers of genuine cowhide. And then we look at our lock stitch. That lock stitch is actually looking better than the first 2 sew-offs we did with the genuine elk hide and the protected full grain leather. So again, as far as the stitch presentation, I really have no gripes. The lock stitch could be a little bit better on some of the first 2 sew-offs. But again, how many times can we get away with doing this to this 44S that has an all-metal frame, supposedly, and lots of plastic on the inside before this thing gives out? We've gotten away with 3 pretty hardcore sew-offs so far. We've got 2 more to go. We'll see if this 44S can continue to survive these sew-offs. I have no doubt my brother, model 1241, could do it all day long. I don't have that level of confidence with this 44S. I'm sorry, I just don't. I know what's on the inside of that machine and how it was engineered and how it was made in Vietnam. Nothing against our Vietnamese friends, but nah, apples and oranges, folks. All right, let's go over to this and do the same sew off. And I may return to the same stitch length, I don't know. I may lengthen that stitch length off so we have the same or similar stitch length that we just did on that Singer Model 44S. And I'll sew on this one as well so you can listen to it run. Again, Taiwan made, and difference is it was made about 50 years earlier. So I think that makes a difference. Okay, so we're doing 3 layers of genuine cowhide as well on this Brother Model 1241. And we'll see how this machine sounds when it's doing the job. We'll see how it does as far as getting the job done. All right, here we go. It's not even showing any effort. It's not even showing a little effort going through this. It's ridiculous. And the stitching and the formation is exactly as I would expect it to be, both top and lock stitch. And again, we could do this, we could literally do this all day long on this Brother 1241. And as we sew on that Singer 44S, I'm just not hearing a machine that is saying, yeah, I could do that all day long. It's struggling. It's struggling big time. All right, let me clip these threads. And again, as you're looking at stitches on this Brother 1241, realize we're using a red thread compared to white. White thread is a shoe-in when it comes to presenting on pretty much any material, even light materials. So kind of like I recently showed you with Tom's Husqvarna Viking green machine, the stitches on camera will not look exactly the same on both machines. But what you want to be listening for is how that machine sounds. Okay, blah, 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 blah. What I'm going to go to next is another type of leather. This is an Italian style leather that I don't show on this channel very often, and we're going to be doing 3 layers of it and see how the Singer 44S does first, and then we're going to be coming back to this Brother Model 1241. And I will put on this Bach piece now. Okay, so let's get ready to do 3 layers of Italian leather. This is really more of a tanned leather, but I know that it's an Italian style leather, so that's why I'm referring to it that way. Let's see how this Singer Model 44S does with this task. Look at the grain on that stuff. Isn't that ridiculous? Okay, so there's our 3 layers of Italian. It's a tan leather, and we'll see how this 44S does as a one-off on this leather. Here we go. Make me a little bit nervous too when I raise and lower the presser foot on this 44S, because the presser foot lever you can't see on the back, is plastic. So again, I have no issue with the way this stitching, especially with this white thread, presents. I think it does an excellent job of presenting a decent looking stitch. But again, knowing how this machine is engineered with plastic gears, and again, excuse me, again, nothing against our friends in Vietnam, but knowing that this machine was manufactured and engineered in Vietnam, how many times do you think we can get away with sewing at this level without this machine breaking? And there's our lock stitch. Again, I have no major issues at all with that lock stitch. I just think that this machine is running on borrowed time, and even when I hear it running, it sounds like it's straining to get those stitches laid down. It's doing a decent job with the stitching again, but in 6 months, if you keep sewing like this, you're going to be back at Walmart, or you're going to be calling me to try to get another machine. All right, we are getting down to nitty gritty now. We're down to one of our last sew-offs. I've got to first of all do that Italian tanned leather on this Brother Model 1241 first. And I will go ahead and put the same... Oh, I can't. I was going to put the same Bach piece on, but I think I'm going to put on Drunken Sailor instead. That's just a little bit too intriguing not to put on. Here we go. All right, let's do the same sew-off. 3 layers of Italian tan leather. Here we go. Okay, so again, 3 layers of Italian tan leather with this vintage Brother 1241. Here we go! Whoops, my foot slipped, sorry. There we go. I'll let you be the judge. All I'll say is effortless, absolutely effortless. 3 layers of Italian tan leather, and this Brother Model 1241 just got it done ridiculously easy. And it didn't have that sound of being strained like that contemporary Singer Model 44S. Let me turn it like that. I gotta pull these back. That thing just hammers it. So there's our top stitch. Absolutely spectacular. Even using red thread, that's not going to be popping quite as well on video as that white thread that this Singer Model 44S is pre-threaded with. This is just an absolutely gorgeous stitch. Absolutely gorgeous stitch. As we turn it over, I'll kind of flip it this way. We'll look at our lock stitch. Nothing different there. The lock stitch is exactly as it should be in every respect. It's just absolutely gorgeous. And again, what I'll say is this. This is where the rubber meets the road, folks. I am absolutely confident with my experience working with machines, both vintage and contemporary. I've had a number of local quilters that have brought me their contemporary long arm quilting machines, and I've gone out to service them as well. We're talking $10,000 to $12,000 machines. But what I can tell you is that those machines, as nifty as they are, and as many cool things as they can do, they are not engineered to last even like a machine like this that was made in Taiwan by Brother back in the day. And I know that my quilting friends don't take offense to that because a number of them have said the same thing. They know that. But there's certain bells and whistles that they want, and they're willing to trade it off for a machine that's not going to last, knowing that if they try doing leather sewing like this over and over and over and over again, like we could do on this model 1241, this Brother machine, if they tried to do that on their Janome, if they tried to do it on their contemporary Elna machine or their Husqvarna, bye-bye machine, bye-bye machine. And it's no different with this Singer Model 44S. We can get away with doing this with 5 sew-offs as one-offs, and that Singer heavy-duty all-metal frame contemporary machine will be able to skirt by. But if we were to sit down with this machine in a small business and do this every single day, we could do it on this Brother Model 1241. I absolutely guarantee it. We wouldn't be able to do it on that Singer heavy-duty Model 44S. We just can't. You know that. You're smart. All right, let me throw this Italian tan leather to the side. Again, you be the judge, but I think this 1241 is absolutely knocking it out of the park compared to this 44S. And we only have one sew-off to go. We only have one sew-off to go, folks. All right. I got distracted for a second. I'm just thinking I would love to just beat this Singer Heavy Duty 44S to the ground so eventually you could hear plastic breaking on the inside, but unfortunately during the course of a premiere we don't have time to do that. You can go out there and buy your own 44S and beat it up for 6 months and then contact me and say, Scott, man, you were right. That thing did okay on 5 sew-offs. It skirted by, but I bought one and tried using it in my small business for leather sewing. And you're absolutely right. It kicked the bucket after 6 months. All right, Drunken Sailor, how do we beat that? I have no idea. But we're going to go to one now that is labeled as funky hip hop, and it's called Stay Golden. So we're going to give this a go. Stay Golden. Singer, you can keep doing your fancy marketing. You can print up your really cool boxes, but you're not fooling anybody. We know what the real deal is. It's kind of like adding sawdust to a bad transmission. We're going to be able to drive that car for a while, and you know what? It's going to be pretty smooth. But 600 miles down the road, 6 months down the road, we know what's going to happen, don't we? Uh-huh. Yeah, we do. All right, our final sew-off. This is also a protected full-grain leather. I'm only going to do 2 layers of it, and we'll see how this machine does. Matter of fact, you know what? I'll kind of sew down and go around, I think. Yeah, let's do that. Here we go. Come on, girl. You're not done yet. You're not done yet. You're not even close to your 6-month breaking point yet. Come on. This thing is just like really, oh. Here we go. Come on. I know I have a paper clip weight foot controller, but you can do this. All right, we went down and around almost. We didn't go all the way down around there. All right, here we go. Let's see what we got. That was kind of a fun song, wasn't it? So there's our stitching on top. I have no issue with that. Again, Singer is taking this machine to a point where it can lay down a decent stitch. And this again is 2 layers of protected full grain leather. And there's our lock stitch on the back. Nothing wrong with the stitches. I'm not gonna be critical of the stitches. But I'll say it again. Knowing that this machine was made in Vietnam, it could have been just as easily made in Taiwan like the Brother machine, and that the inside that you can't see, apart from their really cool marketing pictures of an all-metal frame, is that the majority of the innards of this are going to be plastic. How many times do you think we can get away with sewing leather like this and the machine continuing to work? Considering that their guarantee to me when I bought this machine was, bring it back in 90 days or we don't want to see it. They know. Again, it's like adding sawdust to a bad transmission. You're going to be able to fool somebody for a while, but eventually the truth is going to come to the surface. And then you're going to say, well, it lasted 6 months. I only spent 150 to 200 bucks, but I could have bought a machine for just a little bit more from Scott, and it would have lasted 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50 years. I could have passed the machine down to my kids or my grandkids, and that machine would still be going strong. Not so with the Singer contemporary models. It's a lie. I'm just going to say it. It's an absolute lie. You're going to be like the frog in the pot for just a while, until that water goes from being warm and comfortable to boiling, and then that machine is going to be dead. Absolutely guarantee it. So nothing again against the stitches that this machine has laid down. It boils back down to longevity and quality of engineering. That's my issue with a machine like this, especially when they start making it with this industrial type gray color and they start stamping it with heavy duty. I just think that that's nothing short of being fraudulent. I really do. And I just think it's testimony of where Singer is now compared to where it used to be. That's just a fact. So I'm going to lay these sew-offs out and we'll just look at them. Again, I have no issues with the stitching at all. And I think looking at the stitching is what we should do. We always do that when we're doing our sew-offs. And we'll do the same thing with the Brother machine. But before we do that, before I get ahead of myself, I got to do one more sew-off on the Brother machine, and that's the 2 layers of protected full grain leather. Now I just did a fun one, Stay Golden. What's the next one? When Johnny Comes Marching Home, or Johnny Comes Marching, yeah, let's do this one next. When Johnny Comes Marching Home. Here we go. I almost kind of regret that I'm not doing U.S. Army grade canvas with a marching song like this. What a missed opportunity. What an absolute missed opportunity, huh? All right, let's do our final sew-off on this vintage Brother model 1241. Two layers of protected full grain leather, just like we did on the 44S. Here we go. If I get my foot on the foot control, that is. Ah! I got the foot control off the ground right now because the cord on this is a little bit shorter and it's quite a bit higher than that 44S. I can actually show you on the shot. It's ridiculous. Beautiful stitches that this machine just laid down. And again, I have not even optimized this machine yet, folks. The spacing, the formation is absolutely spot on. And again, we could do this all day long on this Brother Model 1241. If we tried sewing at this level continuously, good luck on that 44S. Plastic is just not designed for that, folks. And there's our lock stitch, absolutely spot on as well. Beautiful stitching, beautiful stitching. All right, let me set these to the side on the bed, and we will take a look at them, zooming in on the camera on both machines. And we'll wrap this Premier up. I really love that one I did where I reduced that stitch. I mean, way down there. Absolutely crazy. And again, remember from our recent lesson with Tom's machine that if we had used white thread, the stitching would look different than using red thread. Red is a tough color, but I had to pick it because of the front of this machine having that beautiful ruby red color on it. I couldn't get away with picking a color otherwise. Well, there's my reminder. Okay. Let's start over by the 44S, the heavy-duty all-metal frame that defied my magnet somehow. So we'll start with the last stitching we just did. Again, I have no issue with the stitching that this machine laid down. It boils down to longevity and how the machine is engineered. Now we go over to, oh, I'm sorry, that was our protected full grain leather. 2 layers of that. Now we go over to our 2 layers of genuine elk hide. Again, no issue with the stitching. I think the machine did fine with these one-offs. And then we did our, what is that? That's also our protected full grain leather over here. Did our 3 layers. Again, I think it laid down a decent stitch. No issues with the stitch. We're kind of like that sawdust in the transmission. How many times are you going to be able to get away with doing that? We only did it 5 times. And the machine, to my ears in the workshop here, was already sounding straining. It was already sounding like it was straining. 3 layers of this. I'm just totally getting distracted by this. 3 layers of this final sew-off that we did over here. On the far outside, that was I think that was our Italian, wasn't it? I lost track. Again, no problems with the stitching. I think it did fine. All right. So that is the 44S. Again, made in Vietnam. Supposedly all metal frame. Supposedly a lot more power than the contemporary Brother machines. I don't know if that's true or not, because they don't show you anywhere on the box, anywhere on the machine, what the motor size actually is. I can only ascertain it by looking at the foot controller that, again, weighs about as much as a paper clip. So you be the judge. I think on the one-offs, I've got no gripe with how this machine did, but I know how it's engineered. I know how it would perform over the long run, and that's my gripe with it. That's why I'm a vintage guy. Okay. Oh, I wanted to show you the foot controller down there. I've got it up on 2 of my weights right now, and on that last sew-off it kind of slid on me a little bit for obvious reasons, because I've got it up on this workbench and it's much higher. Alright, so our sew-offs real quick. Here's our 2 layers of protected full grain leather. I wish I could bring this camera even a little bit higher, but you can see it from there. The stitching is absolutely spot on. Absolutely spot on. Here's our 3 layers of this. I think I described this as Italian tan leather. And again, our stitching is absolutely spectacular on that as well. And when I did the sew-off, I flipped it both ways. And that was 3 layers of that. Here's our genuine elk hide. And once again, this Brother vintage machine did an absolutely spectacular job. And then we got our 3 layers of protected full grain leather. And that's where I laid down a stitch that is like microscopic. That is extremely difficult to do when you're sewing through that many layers. 3 layers, and it didn't miss a beat. And then our final sew off, where am I? Our final sew off is this also protected full grain leather, which is really tough to see with this red thread. And that was 3 layers of that stuff. And it's absolutely spot on. So again, as you saw when I did the magnet test, see, that's why I picked the thread I did. Isn't that gorgeous? I love that color. Oh my gosh. So again, as you saw with the magnet test, where the Singer folks, bless their hearts, are desperately trying to survive in this market that is getting tighter and tighter and tougher, and so many more people are learning the truth about vintage sewing machines compared to contemporary machines. And the magnet test tells the story. You listening to this machine running as it did all the same sew-offs that this contemporary Singer 44S did tells the story. You can sew heavy duty, super heavy duty on this Brother machine all day long. And you could try to do the same thing with this Singer 44S, and I'll just say it, you would be sorely, sorely disappointed. So this has been another head-to-head with a Singer Contemporary 44S and a vintage Brother model 1241. You be the judge. But I think, to me, as a guy that works with machines every single day, and again in the workshop, you can see and you can hear things that you might not pick up on the video, on the premiere. This 1241 is all about heavy duty. It doesn't need any sawdust in its transmission. This Singer 44S, even after only 5 sew-offs in the workshop, I can already hear where this machine is heading. So buy contemporary for the short term, buy vintage because you want that machine to last a lifetime. That's why we do what we do. That's why we love these vintage machines. Because it's all about engineering, it's about quality, it's about longevity. Congratulations, Brother. Congratulations to the Brother Sewing Machine Company in just going head-to-head with the Singer Sewing Machine Company. I've already picked my winner. All right, God bless, folks. You take care.